Shalom, first and foremost, only of all praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace, love, and salutation to all you Akim that's pushing this truth and truth sincerity. Now, this is the GMS Charlotte midweek camp from November the 12th, 2025. GMS All Precepts, the elder brother Ishayar, and the brothers of Great Millstone Charlotte. You got the beloved brother Alma One right here, all right, to the left of the screen. And they had a midweek camp, and they were going into Esau and how his enterprise would not succeed. You know, Esau is imagining a vain thing, trying to get his enterprise where everybody's gonna be tagged. All right, I'm gonna be real circumspect with my speech in this one, but something that caught my attention when I was watching the live stream is the elder brother Ashayar mentioned, which I forgot. I forgot that back during the 2020 boogeyman, all right, Sweden wasn't on any type of lockdown because they had the Kharagma. A lot of people had the Kharagma, so it led me to just type up chat GPT. I didn't even log in, and I just typed up, you see it on the screen, okay, that digital O, that Kharagma mentioned in Revelation 13 and 16 that these other camps are failing to tell other Israelites about. And that's blood on your hands if you don't warn the people. So this is it, you see it on the screen, all right. Human micro sea hipping in the country of Sweden. Let's show you a map of where Sweden is at on the world map. Show you where Sweden is at. This is where Sweden is at, and people are getting micro sea hip right and left in the country of Sweden. The end time prophecies. So as you can see at the bottom, it says, chat, you know who can make mistakes, and they show, or when you read these articles, let's just get into it. Like I said, I didn't even log in. It says in Sweden, a number of people have voluntarily had rice grain size RFID/NFC C-hips implanted under the skin on their hand, typically between thumb and index finger, so that a C-hip can function like a key card, ID, train ticket, etc. And gradually, you're starting to see that in Babylon the Great. I did a lesson on facial recognition at Arizona State University football games. So it says these implants are used for things like unlocking doors at work or home, accessing offices or gyms, boarding trains, storing emergency contact info, because they're gonna make it look like it's a thing of convenience. One company often cited is Biohacks International, founded by Johan Osterlund. And I think this is this guy right here. I believe it's his cat right here. It says, which has been doing many of the implants. The numbers, estimates would vary, but as of 2018, around 3,000 to 5,000 people in Sweden have such implants. Now, Esau is always lying. Just how, like he says that when an earthquake happens, yeah, there was only like 3 people that perished. No, it was probably like 3,000. All right, so more people have this from 2018. It says, but as of 2018, all right, it's It's about to be 2026. So it says that technology, the C-hips are passive, i.e., no power source, only when scanned and using NFC RFID communication. Now, you got many articles in here. I'm not going to really get into those, but these go back. And this is like a little bit of news from years ago, but I just want to bring out some points in this lesson. It says legal and Regulatory status. There is no indication that the Swedish government has mandated micro C-hip implants in humans, particularly is voluntary. There is relatively little specific regulation publicly noted about human micro C-hip implants as opposed to, for example, animal micro C-hipping. I had a neighbor about 2 years ago, and his dog was named Snowball. The dog had the micro C-hip. All right, they're gonna start. They've been micro C-hipping animals, and the next target are humans on Earth. Okay. One source states there is currently no national legislation regarding the growing industry. Because the implants are voluntary, the big legal concerns are about consent, workplace implications, data protection, and bodily integrity. For example, the European Parliament in a study stated that workers cannot be forced to accept implants. And let's get this precept, because what is bound to happen prophecy-wise, you're going to have to consent to taking this to get into the workplace, right? And as it says, the Swedish government has mandated micro C-hips implants in humans, particularly as voluntary. We're coming to a time where it's not going to be made voluntary, or you will be faced with Revelation 20 with beheading and the guillotine. And there's plenty of articles. I believe I've had one. Maybe I could get into it, but we're coming to these times. You see all these distractions that's going on. Today on November 12th, you got I'm gonna spell it out, the EPSTEIN files that people have been salivating over. They're just gonna continue to distract you people with that, and they're distracting you with this government shutdown. You know, they're still playing with the majority of these people with this government shutdown. Meanwhile, Esau, man, let's get this precept right quick. Esau, Edom, all right? The red man, starting with the top banking elites, they're working behind closed doors. They're giving a lot of people distractions. Like I said, this EPSTEIN files, trying to link him up with the president. You already know what I'm talking about. It's a distraction, man. I just looked at it and said, you know what? It's just a distraction. What's really going on is this man behind closed doors is setting up to present the mark of the beast, which is mentioned in Revelation 13 and 16. And it's not going to be made voluntary pretty soon. That's why I got into this article. Now let's get this precept in Proverbs 4 and 14. Excuse me. Proverbs 4 and 14. And it reads, enter not into the path of the wicked. Now who's the wicked here on the earth? If you can receive this message, Esau, Edom, the red man, because this is only for the elect. This isn't for you naysayers. All right, the wicked is Esau, Edom. He calls himself white. And he calls you black, Hispanic, and Native American, which are proverb and bywords. And go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. And the powers that be, the workers of insurrection, according to Psalms, the 64th chapter, they can't stop non-stop unless they're doing some type of wickedness. And also, the scriptures say, be not ignorant of Satan's devices. All these distractions on the news that's going on is ultimately distracting you from what he intends to do, which is to digitally tag majority of the earth. He can't tag everyone because he can't tag the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay, and Lord willing, we're part of that number. All right, these Edomites, they can't sleep. They give you distractions. You got these holidays coming up. Who knows what they're doing while you people are trying to feed your families on a pagan demonic holiday. So let's get the precept, because it says, like I mentioned, it says they haven't mandated it in Sweden, and it's voluntary in Sweden, but This is coming for the whole world. This is Revelation 3 and 10. Revelation 3 and 10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. This is going to be the ultimate test here in these last days. So let's get this word, hour of temptation. It's going to be made mandatory on the planet Earth. It's not going to be voluntary anymore. And the things that are happening where they're causing you people to incite riots over EBT and food stamps and Section 8, they're going to take everything away from you and then present you as a situation, which is to take this digital O. Let's get this word, temptation.
Strong's G 3986 Pyrasmas. Pyrasmas.
All right, Pyrasmas. And it reads, an experiment, attempt, trial, proving. Under the second category, the trial of man's fidelity, faith, integrity, virtue, constancy, and enticement to sin, temptation, whether arising from the desires or from the outward circumstances. Under the B, an internal temptation to sin. Under the let me see. It says that the temptation by which the devil sought to divert Yahushua, the Messiah, from his divine errand, of the conditions of things or a mental state by which we are enticed to sin or to lapse from the faith and holiness. D, adversity, affliction, trouble sent by the Most High and serving to test or prove one's character, faith, holiness. As Apostle R always say, this is the Most High's CHIP. Okay? Because Esau, he's just, let's get this precept concerning Esau. This is the Most High CHIP. He put the spirit on man to create it. Proverbs 16 and verses 4. The Lord have made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Esau, Edom is the wicked according to Malachi, the first chapter. Okay, verses 1 through 4. He was created to be the wicked and also to be basically a can of whoop ass on you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans when you get out of line. All right, according to Psalm 17 and 13. Well, this is going to be the ultimate trial, the ultimate test. All right, and we see those in the know-how see what's going on. Meanwhile, people are still distracted by sports. There's nothing wrong watching sports. You know, I got the game on right now. I think San Antonio is playing Golden State. Okay, but our people are into it. They're still into work, and you can tell a greater majority of our people, all right, they're getting caught off guard because our people love to work. The scriptures say, is Israel a homeborn slave? All right, so when they say, you already see how they're taking these jobs away. You already see how they're taking people's so-called benefits away. They're going to sweep everything off the rug of these people and say, hey, this is the solution amongst all this chaos that's going on. We got this digital all. We got to track you. We got to make sure you are who you are. You know, a lot of you people out there are getting on the internet talking about you're going to do this and that to Walmart. They're going to say, hey, we have to make sure that we know who's who, so you won't do any premeditated crimes. That's the times that we in. All right, and it's ultimately going to lead up to the hour of temptation. All right, so let's go back to this article. Let's continue. Sweden is comparatively advanced digital social society with high levels of trust and digital infrastructure and a strong cashless payments culture. Now that's what it's really coming down to on this side over here in Babylon the Great. Why they keep giving you these EPSTEIN files and they keep playing with you people's minds, thinking they're gonna come out with them and expose somebody behind closed doors. Here in Babylon, they're building a digital infrastructure and a strong cashless society. All right, pretty soon you're not gonna be able to use the cash. Now let me just bring out something today. That's the spirit. Brothers been putting this in the group text all day, and people aren't paying attention to the signs, man. It says today the last United States penny will be made and no more will be minted. I mean, if they're not coming out with any more pennies, what's that telling you? Everything is going digital. I'm getting a little excited now, but everything is going digital when they're not going to make any more pennies anymore. I went to Aldi's to get some kombucha, and at Aldi's, they're rounding it up to, I think, the next 5 or 10 cents. All right, so this is the times that we're in. So continuing on, it says the convenience factor. Like I said, they're going to, the powers that be study you people. You know, they know you people like too much comfort. All right, too much comfort where you can get food delivered to your door. You basically don't have to move. You can get everything delivered to your place of residence if you got the money for it. It says of carrying multiple cards, like credit cards. It's all gonna be on the C-HIP. The C-HIP simplifies access to services, gym, office, transit, and they're gonna use these crash test dummies known as celebrities, athletes, and entertainers that say, "Hey, see me? I'm opening up the door with my C-HIP." You know, and people are gonna eat it up, man, because they worship these bonehead celebrities, man, which are bought and paid for. So it says the biohacking community is also involved. The implants are part of a broader body augmentation, Internet of Bodies type of narrative. So it says concerns and criticism. Because of the C-HIP links to services or can be used for access or payments, there are concerns about who holds the data. Well, who do you think is going to hold the data? How secure it is, possibilities of misuse or surveillance. Even though voluntarily now, the concern is that workplaces might start choosing implants for accessing and monitoring, which raises ethical issues. Let's get this precept, man. And this is what's coming down to. Matter of fact, let's just go to Revelation 13 and 16 and read it. Okay? Alright, Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor. So it says rich and poor. There's not going to be any middle class anymore when this comes down the pipeline. You're either going to be rich or poor. All right, and the richer are richer, getting richer, and the richer getting poor. I saw something of this current New York mayor. He's trying to put taxes on billionaires, but the billionaires have already moved out. So your war is on the poor, and you people still out go. These people, not you brothers and sisters. I'm just saying these people out here, they still go out here and vote. Like I was watching a previous basketball game. I was watching. It was a blowout. It was Detroit versus Chicago, and they kept showing these commercials from Chicago about this politician and how tough he is on crime. It's the same old two-step with these politicians, man. They're bought and paid for as well. And you people go blindly follow these idiots, these crash test dummy politicians, and think they're actually doing you a favor. But we're coming to a time where it says, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he had that mark, that G5480, that Kharagma, or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So when you usually work, right, you get paid. With everything going digital, during that time when it's made mandatory, you won't be able to work and get a paycheck unless you get this digital O. All right? And you know people, man, they're going to want to work, especially our people. All right, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans love to work on this side. They love being slaves. But this is the ultimate form of slavery, and basically saying you pledge your allegiance to this Luciferian satanic society ran by the elite banking families. All right? You're not pledging to the God of the Bible and his only begotten Son. A lot of our people still believe in Jesus, man. So let's get Mark.
Strong's G 5480. Kharagma. Kharagma.
And it reads, a stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamp on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. Now, I think matter of fact, I did a lesson on these other Israelite camps, and why are they not telling you about this? All right, why are they not saying, hey, this is coming down the pipeline? Ask yourself that question. I know the answer, but for you brothers that watch ISUPK, IUIC, why they never talk about the mark of the beast, and why they always say it's sin or sleeping with white women? Okay, I think it's 1 John 2 and 18. 1 John 2. 1 John 2 and 18. Little children, it is the last time, as ye have heard that Antichrist or anti-anointed shall come. And when you go to the word Antichrist, it goes into an adversary of the Messiah. Even now there are many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time. Alright? So if you take this digital all, you're an adversary of the Messiah, and he's making a second return. The mark branded upon horses, thing carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. Excuse me. This is an ultimate idolatrous image. All right, coming up in these last days, which is coming soon. The next coming weeks to months are going to be serious, especially going into 2026. So let's go to the root word of this one. See if I can find it. That's right there.
Strong's G 5482. Charax. Charax.
Alright, Charax. It says a pale or stake, a palisade. A palisade or rampart, pales between which earth, stones, trees, and timbers are heaped and packed together. Let's look up a pale or a stake. That's way off. All these pictures of Esau. And the Messiah and the children of Israel did not look like that, man. All right, look, this is a better image, a stake. Okay, look at these stakes. Right, not this, but this. Okay, that's a good example. All right, it says a pale or stake or palisade. All right. It says a Strong's definition, Charax, to sharpen to a point through the idea of scratching. Okay, and that's that. Matter of fact, let's see if we can paint the picture, man. Yep. And that's those devices that are using to stick you. Alright. Alright, with the Kharagma. Boom. Whoop, there it is. Right there. Okay. Look. Look, this guy's in agonizing pain. This is what they're doing in Sweden. And look, this is what they're doing in Sweden, man. Having easy access to gyms, business, so on and so forth, right? And they've been doing it on animals for the longest time. That's just inhumane, man. All right, There goes that Palisade. Alright, that Charax. Alright. So let's go to another definition. Let's get a root word of that. I believe it was Grapho. Let's get this word.
Strong's G 1125. Grapho. Grapho.
Alright, it says to write with reference to form of the letters. To write with reference to the contents of the writing. To express in written characters. To write. So let's go back to this article where it says, even though voluntary now, the concern is that workplaces might start choosing implants for access or monitoring, which raises ethical issues. Yeah, they're gonna say we need to know who you are. Okay, we need all this information is on this C-hip, even your medical information. That's another reason why there'll be this temptation, because a lot of people trust in this current healthcare system, man, which is death care system. If you really know what's going on, in all avenues, from when you're born to when these people go into hospice, it's all death care, man. And people trust it. The scriptures say, don't trust in oppression. Okay. So you can see the narrative. Hey, we don't know who you are. You really want this job? You got to take this device so we know who you are. All right. So it also says, where was I at? I'm gonna bring out one more point. It says, let's read from the top again. Well, no, not that one. They say some of the C-hips are hard to hack because they don't broadcast continuously. They are connected systems. Any connected systems have vulnerabilities. As with any implant, there are risks of infection, rejection, unknown long-term effects. Some skeptics point to dystopian implications of always-on digital bodies. Let's get this word dystopian before I get to the other point. Let's get a basic definition. Alright, dystopian, relating to or denoting an image state of society where there is great suffering or injustice. Okay. Let's get another definition. Dystopian. Relating to or being an imagined world or society in which people lead dehumanized, fearful lives. And that's what the workers of iniquity, alright, the elite banking families want to push. They want to push, as it says, a society in which people lead dehumanized, fearful lives. They're just pushing fear to these people. Okay? And pushing that order out of chaos, man. Alright, so it says, as with any implant, there are risks of infection. Yeah, it is, because the scriptures say it, man. Let's go to Revelation 16. I mean, remember earlier in this lesson, Chat GPT don't have all the answers, basically. Alright, the scriptures do. This is Revelation 16:1, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of the Most High upon the earth. Alright, these great judgments that are coming upon the earth soon. And you ain't seen nothing yet. They ain't seen nothing yet with food stamps and EBT getting cut off. You ain't seen nothing yet. People think they went through something with that whole boogeyman 2020. They ain't been through nothing yet. We haven't got to the hour of temptation yet. And Lord willing, the Lord puts a spirit on us to say no, even if it's until death. Alright, we don't want no part of this mad system. Here it is, we prophesying against this mad system. Why would we take this? And Lord willing, the Lord puts a spirit on us to reject this. So you Israelites, I did a lesson last week. Know what you're involved in, man. This ain't just some thing to do like it's cute so you can get women, man. We're coming to some serious grave times, man, and integrity is on the line. And we have to remember to keep the faith and to pray to the Lord that we pass the hour of temptation. But it's pretty soon ain't gonna be no basketball games. All right, it's not gonna be any shucking and jiving. It's not gonna be any bread and circuses. You ain't gonna be able to go outside. All right, they're gonna lock these places back down, man, and they're gonna present you a solution out of fear. All right, this dystopian society. Hey, you gotta take this in order to survive. Verse 2. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, the Kharagma. All right, they already do it in Sweden, and upon them that worshipped his image. All right, so let's get this word noisome and grievous sore, and then just close it on out. All right, noisome.
Strong's G 2556. Kakas. Kakas.
Because it says noisome, of a bad nature, not such as it ought to be, of a mode of thinking, feeling, acting. The best definition is troublesome, injurious, pernicious. Basically a synonym with destructive, baneful. All right. Let's get this word noisome and grievous.
Strong's G 4190. Paneras. Paneras.
Paneras. It says it's the best definition in an ethical sense: evil, wicked, or bad. Okay. Let's get this. It says grievous goes into bad. Those who took the mark of the beast had something that was bad coming to them.
Strong's G 1668. Helkas. Helkas.
All right, Helkas. It says a wound, especially a wound producing a discharge, pus, a sore, or ulcer. So those that take this mark of the beast are going to have a bad sore or bad ulcer. They're going to have a bad wound that was producing a discharge. All right, will they get it in their left hand or their right hand or their underarm, whatever they get it in their forehead? Because you start to see this stuff with Neuralink coming out. How come nobody in these other Israelite camps are even mentioning Neuralink? It's just we're all black, you know. We're all purple and march, you know. We're the army of God. I noticed that them two camps, the guys that were all black and the guys that were all purple, continue to march. They just got civil rights spirits on them, man. But this is what's really coming down the pipeline. All right? And let's just get the ultimate consequence for taking this, man. All right, Revelation 14. Close it on now with this. All right, pretty much all the fun and games, all the scoffing, you're gonna know that a prophet have been among you. All you trying to make these little skits and thinking it's cute. Every time the elder Monat is off in South Carolina does a lesson, it seems like it's on some unbeliever. But they're just marking themselves, man. You know, we got better chances of making it with all these non-believers. I mean, I love it. I don't even really get mad. And I get mad, but then it's like common sense just comes into play. The Holy Spirit comes into play. It's like, okay, more chances for us to make it. Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed him, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image. All right, the beast. All right, the image of the beast is this basically this revitalization of the Roman Empire, man. All right, Esau Edom going back to the Roman times. All right, and his new structure that he has, you know, this beast system. All right, with the European Union and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. All right, but back in the day, it was the ancient Roman Empire. But now, in these current times, you have the beast system, which is the European Union and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. All right, and his image. All right, yeah, basically everything you see around you, this revitalization of the Roman Empire, and receive his mark, which is the Kharagma. All right, in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Let's just, it says, verse 14, and the smoke of their torment is sended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. So basically what this scripture is going to is, during World War III, all right, you'll be a candidate to be destroyed in the lake of fire, according to Revelation 20. And also, the Lord is coming back in what you call so-called UFOs, the UAPs. That's what they call them nowadays. And it is going to be laser beam fire, concentrated fire coming from those chariots. So if you take that, it's basically like a double negative. And you don't know how long you're going to be in that fire. That's the fear of the Lord. Verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints of the Israelites. According to Psalms 148:14. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahweh Shai. It's all about, yes, you have to keep the commandments to the best of your ability, according to Judges 5:11. But you have to have faith in Yahweh Shai. These other Israelite camps, they deny Yahweh Shai. That's why I did that lesson yesterday on these one particular camp. They're basically anti-Christ. They're anti-anointing. They're anti-Yahweh Shai. So let's show you. I don't want to play it, but you can play this in your spare time just for copyright reasons, man. Just real quick. Type this up. Just all right. This is what's going to happen. All right. That plague mentioned in Zechariah 14:12. Look, this was coming. All right. For those that worship the beast in his image and receive his mark. Okay. And this is what's coming to Babylon the Great for all the wickedness that's going on, man. All right. Look. And that's not pleasant, man. It's damn near bad enough when you burn your hand on the stove, man. Hey, so with that, Lord, when that was edifying, so next time I'm gonna say Shalom. Do not take the mark of the beast mentioned in Revelation 13 and 16. Shalom.